Greetings one and all, it's me, Connor. It's hard for us to get abroad and do on-location content as much as we'd like to, but on occasion the stars align, and today is one such example. For today I'm in southwestern Turkey. This is the ancient city of Tlos. The Acropolis Tlos was an ancient Lycian city near the modern town of Girmeler in the Mulga province of southern Turkey, with archaeological excavations at the caves of Girmeler, Tavabasi, and in the city centre. It is believed that the foundations of a city were constructed on the site over 4,000 years ago. References to the city in Lycian inscriptions date back as far as the 15th to the 17th centuries BCE, making this one of 6 major ancient Lycian cities. The ruins consist of an acropolis atop a hill, complete with a mausoleum built into the cliff face, a stadium or a coliseum depending on how fancy you're feeling, that could house roughly 2,500 spectators, dating to the Hellenistic period between the 4th and 1st century BCE, and likely altered during the Roman occupation too.
Behind me is the Roman Colosseum. This one was capable of sitting about 3,000 people, so guessing off of that, the city would have been able to hold about 7,000 people total.
There are also baths and a theatre. It was believed Tlos was one of the largest and oldest cities of Lycia. Tlos was rediscovered by Charles Fellows in 1838 and was followed by Thomas Abel Brimage Spratt, who proclaimed, "A grander site for a great city could scarcely have been selected in all of Lycia." Today's video isn't exclusively about the city of Tlos. As marvellous as it may be, we are heading by means of clapped out bus to the Girmeler Cave. Girmeler Cave is located roughly about 30 kilometers from Fethiye and shares a fascinating connection with the ancient city of Tlos, yet has its own rich history too. The cave has 2 entrances, with the main gallery having a 16-metre wide entrance
Looks like a
stretching back 40 metres to a hot spring located within the cavern, whereas the other entrance is narrower but longer, with a 10-metre wide opening stretching back a whopping 150 metres. Although no archaeological excavation has taken place inside the caves themselves, the area in the immediate vicinity to the entrance of the cave has been dug extensively by archaeologists. Before any actual archaeologists arrived, sadly the site was ruined by illegal digs, but what was salvageable was of use, as they were able to determine that the caves had been inhabited as early as the 9th millennium BCE, in the Mesolithic period, with the first inhabitants occupying the entrance to the cave. This makes Girmeler Cave one such example of the Mesolithic periods with ratifying evidence, making it a rare site in the field of archaeology in Western Turkey. It is most likely that the first people to inhabit the cave were hunter-gatherers, who saw this cave as a ready-made shelter. With its 16-metre wide opening, it would have been easy to defend. The cave continued to remain settled well into the Neolithic and Chalcolithic periods. The remains of these periods formed a mound outside the caves with a 55-metre radius and was 7 metres high, destroyed by illegal digging. Around 6000 BCE, the cave began to be settled by agriculturalists, exploiting the resources around the cave. There is further evidence for the cave being used well into the Iron Age. During more recent occupations, it is thought that the hot springs within the cave were used as healing baths by higher society and gladiators. They would have been lowered into the water, where they would soak their wounds and muscles to heal and recover from their ailments, or even just for leisure. It is believed that the water had healing properties and would treat ailments such as gout and arthritis.
I'm sat outside these caves here, and inside there is some hot water springs, because the underground here is volcanic. So in the springs it's full of sulphur, so from here, the breeze coming through the cave, it smells like urine, but it's actually the sulphur from the hot spring pools inside that cave. I'd love to go in any further, but I'm too fat. Also, Turkey has a lot of earthquakes, so we're not allowed to go in any further than this.
Girmeler Cave also garrisoned the troops of Tlos. At one point, between the cave and Tlos lay a passage linking these 2 locations that could cut out the hassle of the nearby terrain. In the event that the troops were needed in Tlos, they could be marched through the passage to the city and flood into its streets quickly. Also, if anyone in the city spotted anyone at the bottom of the hill, they could be marshalled out quickly and assembled there, to prevent the Acropolis becoming besieged. The entrance to this tunnel, however, has seemingly disappeared, and archaeologists have been doing their best to locate it. The city of Tlos would eventually become part of the Persian Empire around the year 540 BCE, and a few short centuries later would become part of the Roman Empire, who would expand on the city and build many new structures of the ruins which can be seen today. Tlos would remain occupied until the Common Era, with references to earthquakes in 141 CE and in 240 CE that caused no small amount of damage, and after this still retained a small population. Tlos would be forgotten about as a hill settlement in a world of seafaring trade. However, it would not fully be abandoned for a long time yet. Tlos and Girmeler Cave stand out as incredibly long-standing settlements with roughly 10,000 years of history between the two sites. Today you can book tours to visit these two fascinating locations and soak in the history of this marvellous city. When I went, I was truly astonished that something this large could be built so high up. I know there are other hilltop cities, but this one is truly breathtaking. Now you may be wondering about the quality of the video. Now unfortunately, the tour I booked on was a water fight tour, so it didn't make any sense to bring a high value piece of equipment on just for it to get damaged. So you'll have to forgive us on this occasion, with it being all recorded on my trusty iPhone. Thank you, Steve Jobs. Thank you for watching today's episode. I know it's probably not what you'd expect from our first trip abroad, but it's still a start nonetheless. So if you like this video, like it, share and subscribe. You could share it with a friend, or if they don't actually want to watch anything of ours, you could give them this option. Tie them up in a barrel and float them out on some water whilst they're covered with honey and been force-fed milk, so that all manner of small little horrible creatures eat them from the inside out. Or they could just simply pick up a tablet and watch something from our channel, whether it be one of our longer videos like Pendle Witch, or one of the shorter ones like one of our fact lists. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.